So you've partnered with your brother Vladimir on the film, and you know his strengths and weaknesses, and you know how well he works under pressure. If you were to start from scratch and choose someone here, would you choose someone like you or someone totally opposite from you?
I'd choose somebody with entirely different skill sets. Yeah, that's because I know there's so many things that I hate doing.
Like what?
Like selling a movie, talking good about your movie, getting people pumped up about it. I'm horrible at it. You know, I mean, sales, you know, what Brando said, acting is sales. And, you know, I have respect for, I think it's almost a talent. It's not even a skill. It's like who knows how to sell becomes Steve Jobs. You know, it's, and if you ask me about the movie, I would tell you really vaguely what's it about, and you'd probably say probably some crap. But if you ask my brother, he would make you think that's the only thing missing in your life, you know, and you need those guys. Like, he studied business and management, and he's that guy who will come in, start selling you off the bat. I mean, he could, because that's what he does, and you know, I undersell.
So you like to be more sort of the realist, maybe working alone. You're more better like that, where some people are just more that extrovert that's able to go and work a room?
Yeah, well, yeah. Just I was never comfortable with it. You know, working the room, mingling, you know, because I don't know, I see all these sides to it, and I always feel silly. There's a line in my film where a character says, the only time I'm really bored was when I'm around with people I don't really know, try to make polite conversation. You know, it's kind of, and that's parties, you know, and I'm like, all right. But like, as far as film, I started drawing comic books since I was, you know, able to pick up a pen. So since 7, 8, they started publishing my comic books in the newspaper, weekly newspaper. They paid me in books in Serbia. So time came from film school. It did serve well as a background, like film directing, comic books, very close. But that's kind of what I'm comfortable with. You know, a guy who draws comic books, it's most of the time not a guy, you know, talking up at the party and stuff.
Do you ever feel a pressure to do that, to kind of hang out and, hey guys, we're going to the bar afterwards for an after party, and you know that in some sense that's a great way to bond with people?
No.
But if you're like those of us who maybe have a little bit of social anxiety, or they're just not, I mean, you can't get really deep in a bar and talk about meaningful stuff. It's usually sometimes promises that don't manifest.
Yeah, I saw this great film called Indie Game, the movie. Did you see it? All right, those guys are awesome, and you know, they've done it. They're so inspiring as far as, oh wow.
Absolutely.
And I even tweeted, I'm like, so did you have a sales agent? He's like, nah, only for things that we knew we couldn't sell, like, you know, TV channel in Brazil. But anyways, in the movie, one of the creators of one of the games says, I would like to connect with people, but without having to meet them.
Yes, I remember that one.
Yeah.
That's great.
So it's, I mean, you know, I'm not a misanthrope or anything. I love people, but the aspect of schmoozing and kind of it's really hard. Like, it's tiring for me to put on the smile, and like, I worked at a hotel. It's hard for me. In the hotel, you have to be kind of
Absolutely.
you know.
I get it. I mean, LA has a lot of smiley, pretty, happy jobs that you have to do.
And that's great. And I met people who are like that. Like, they're just positive, and they love smiling, and they love being friendly. And I have this kind of gloomy, you know, cloud most of the time. And it's really hard for me to be always, at all times, hi, how you doing, when I don't mean it. You know what I mean? One of those things.
But don't you think in some sense that's what makes your storytelling so excellent? Because you're able to tap in to some feelings that a lot of people don't want to go there, they don't want to talk about that.
One of the critics, wrote a nice review of the film, and that was one of the things, like, the protagonist in your film is, you know, he's not a nice person, and we don't like him, and that's really rare. That is the guy that I'm supposed to spend 2 hours with in a story. That, you know, you want to try to find out, you know, something likable about him, and you do. Hopefully, you know, help him find a piece of humanity. But I am attracted to flawed people. I remember a story, and I read this somewhere. A Greek, first time out of the country, went to Greece, and, you know, one of those Parthenons. The story is, one of the Greek consuls ordered a wisdom to be, coined by the 7 philosophers that they can put in the entrance of their temple. They will remain for generations and generations to come. And they're like, all right, we'll think about this really hard. And they came up, and the one that they came up with was man is flawed. That's and I always remember that.
And I think it's great that you're able to say it with no shame, because I mean, look at some of the great rock and roll, Janis Joplin, all these people that are just so amazingly creative, Jim Morrison, and also the demons that they battled.
Yeah.
So if you're just one-dimensional and never reach those depths of despair, then how would you ever create any kind of an emotional piece of art?
Yeah. It's yeah.